Why, hello everybody. So welcome to another The Author, and today we'll be talking about these miniatures right here. Um, these are my most, I would say, miniatures wise, most precious holdings because literally when I started the hobby of Warhammer 40,000, if you watch my video on back in my day, the first one I talked about how I got into literally this is the start of my entire geek hobbies. So these models were the first. I got these in 1995. If you saw that one, you know that these three models are these three spacesuit models in the front are literally the one of the first few models. They were definitely in the first purchase, but I had them from the start, and I've never painted them since 1995 till this year 2013. So you're looking at about 17 years, and at the back the one is probably at best 2 years younger than the three of them, and I painted that for my twin brother. But I also want to talk about the painting schemes. For those who are not interested in the painting, I'm going to first talk about the memories and all that, and then I'll go into the painting. Again, these models are extremely precious to me, and I never thought I would. I always waited till I got good enough to paint, and then I noticed this a certain perfectionist issue that you never want to paint them because you're always so scared. Then finally, it came down to that. You know what? The thing is, I will never sell these. I basically sold most of my Space Wolf army, but I'll never sell these. I'm always gonna keep them. So basically, finally got my guts down to it and just started painting, and I'm very happy with the results. Definitely, I'm not a Golden Daemon winner standard or whatever, but I'm very happy with the results. And I'm basically going to talk right now about how the painting is done. Um, if you want actually more of the story and all that behind all these things and the gaming, go watch my video on when I started the hobby. There'll be links below, and also links of the pictures of everything here, better pictures below, to my Flickr page too. So first thing I'm gonna do is talk about the best one, which I feel turned out the best, is called Nalch Stormcaller. This is of course the old model for 1995. Now if you notice, these are the 1995 models, but they don't, if you know your 40k, they don't have the back banner. Now I removed those because one, I felt I never liked the idea of the back banners for Space Marines. Why would a modern army person do that? And secondly, it was a pain in the ass to keep, and I never liked the banners, to be honest. So I removed that. All the paint schemes were taken from the modern day space, the same models, but from the GW website as of 2013. So that was where the paint schemes I got them from. I took them from, and yeah, so basically that's it. And so now I'm going to talk about some of the techniques. First, for Nigel Stormcaller, I feel he turned out the best because basically he looks the most realistic, which is what I was going for. Um, First things, of course, the hardest parts are all these little runes you have to paint in, and then you do shade and highlight them. But let's start with the pole. The pole is a very little OSL. I don't want the massive OSL that will come out of the thing. Like the truth is also I don't think I had skill for that, so I didn't want to spoil these models. Like I said, these models are very precious to me. I will never sell these. So it started with a white inside, then literally building up to a blue. Then after that, it started with a light blue. Lightning bolt blue, and then after that, actually adding white to that and doing another small line, and it's like thin washes almost, and then you build it up outside to actually then you shade the outside, then you do the black. So it took a long time for this one pole, and I did a very very strong contrast with the skull here. The shading is very dark because I felt that it had to bring, because it was not too strong. You see, because the OSF is not very very subtle. It kind of brings the attention up to here, and then after that, there's one eye here with the glowing eye. And also here you see the red. It was very bright at first, and I saw the picture. I saw the tattered thing. Is that tattered clothes? And idea was too bright for me for this model, so I decided to, with the other models too, is I use a very brown wash, almost like I thinned it down though, and I allowed it to pool in some of the recesses, as you can see, like over here. And then after that, when the whole thing was done, it dried out. Then after I used the brown wash with a lot of water, and I washed it down, and so it looks bright, like, but it still looks like it's been gone through some damage, like sometimes you just can get wear and tear away. So that's what I was going for. And actually, the biggest lesson for the last 1.5 years for me is actually learning that for yellow, to get a very shocking yellow, you do not actually start from a white. I mean, I started from a white, but then I put a very light wash of brown. No, I mean a watered down brown. Then I build it up with to yellow, and then watered down with yellow and white, and pulled it up because it becomes very bright, stunning. And I actually did the same thing with gold too. So with the gold, it was black first. If you compare that with my older models, actually that's a huge difference. And for these, I didn't dry brush anything in all these models, so everything was done by line and blending techniques and everything. So with this, to get this effect, I would say is black first, then go to brown, then you paint the gold. Alright, then after that you actually shade the gold with the, like, I don't know, I've been using brown wash like crazy because to get that dark color. Then after that you paint the gold again over so that the brown doesn't come out that well, just to give it that shading, like a base color. And then after that, Mitris silver added with the gold highlights. And then after that, for the final thing, for any metal part you see, I actually have a mixture which I actually got from the old White Dwarf. Is you take a kind of a light blue wash with black wash, and 50% of that whole mixture you add the same amount of water. So 50% the finished product is actually water, and you mix it all, and then you apply the whole thing to any of the metal parts. It actually gives it the very nice, clean, almost brightness to it, and that's why you can see it. I don't know, I've been using it for years, and I think the results were the same. And for the black parts, I'm trying to get away from the very strong white highlights, So what I did was I would use the gray, then white, and that do everything, and then after that I would use watered down black to actually go through everything so that everything kind of flows, rather than it's like you have black, for example, here, and then one line of white, the kind of thing, I mean, it's definitely better than what I did last time. I can't say it's perfect, but very happy with the result. Definitely improvement. And for wolf pelts, actually, I use a lot of reference materials. I would look at pictures of real wolves when I'm painting and all. So like I noticed that, for example, with this one, the wolf head actually starts with black in the middle, then it flows out to brown, light brown, and then after to a bleach bone color, and then to a white. So actually it spreads. It takes quite a bit of work to get everything flowing, but everything for this model kind of flows out, and there you go. Now it's stone color. Also, the most important part that I'm really proud of this one. You can see that actually this line of pink on the jaw of the wolf, that really made a difference. I found. At first I just saw it in the model in the GW, but so I did it, and let me tell you, without the pink there, it makes a huge difference. That pink just makes it look more real. And of course, the most proud moment for me is actually coming from a snow planet. I decided to use a red wash, and you to finish everything. At least this is the way I do it. And you finish everything, and then use the red wash, watered down like crazy, and then you apply it very, very carefully. You see here, like the warmness there, very, very hard to do, for me at least, because I'm still practicing it, and this was a precious model to me, and it just got it. For me at least, it looks nice. I like it. Later I'll explain what happened with Ragnar, why he doesn't have that, because I'll say now, because basically what happens if you put too much of the water down area is not consistent, it actually flushes everywhere, and he makes his eyes look like it's all red and swelling, and then his face is too flushed. And then here's the thing, like I said, for me, I'm used to just finishing and then applying that wash, so it can literally spoil the whole model. So there you go. This one turned out as my favorite. So that's now Stormcaller. Next is gonna be Yurik, the Slayer. Now for him, the same techniques. For the brown and the black, I didn't want the super hard highlights and all. With the inside, you can see the red there it's a dulled down red. And what happened with this model, I found I wanted to have a, because it was all black, and like I said, I didn't want to do the hard highlighting anymore. So I just wanted the whole thing to have a focus, and that is why actually you see, if you compare the red on his staff compared to the red here, this one actually I didn't do the pooling of the brown. I just did a very light wash of brown to get, you can see like those between the spikes and all. But I left the brightness there because I wanted the whole model to have flow towards his. When you saw him, your eyes gravitate towards his weapon. I don't know, it just looked cool. Like, you know, he's holding up like a chaplain holding up, and it's like everybody looks at that weapon. And for this, that's why I also noticed that I did the cape here. You can notice I didn't do the black like in the Stormcaller one, because I wanted the flow. Instead of going out from here to here then going back, I just wanted everything where you see it like starts here and it flows towards that. You see the yellow there, and it goes up towards his weapon. Yeah, but basically the techniques is the same as I talked with just now. I didn't do the super heavy shading here in his face because I wanted a very subtle one. You can see in the pictures in my Flickr and all. In real life, definitely you can see the much better the shading and all that, but I didn't want a super hard shading because, like I said, my focus of the thing was actually the staff. It's like to bring it there, flows that way. I know it's weird, but for me, I don't know. It felt weird if I gave it too strong, and I wanted somehow the skull here to be more realistic in a way. So, yeah, skip to that. And of course, we come to the man himself, Chapter Master. Well, I mean, when in 1995 he was Ragnar Blackmane. Again, I'm using the color scheme from the modern day on GW for this model. It used to be orange hair. I actually almost went for that, but in the end, it made more sense. He's called Blackmane. So, and again, the brightness of that orange or the brown base coat technique. And also, you notice a lot of gems, and like with now for the crow, you see that I don't know if you can see it. If you see that the mechanical eye and all that, how to do that so-called realistic kind of gem effect and all. I'll actually link it below to the guide I got from somewhere on Facebook. Really helped me, so I always use that nowadays to bring. I'm not great at it, but definitely I've improved a lot compared to my older models. So again, yep, we're going back to Ragnar Blackmane. Everything is keeping it crisp and clean. Bring the brightness towards the weapons, and you see, and it contrasts with the so-called more grayish tone of the Space Wolves. And again with the pelt, you see I went back to the again because this one is like, you notice the flow again to the weapon. You see, so that the black one. So there we go. Again, this one I try to follow the website one. So it's like again the white comes down and all, and I love that you get so many extra eyes you can paint for the wolves, and I don't know if you can see the eye. Well, anyway, so yeah, you can see. I hope you can see that there was an eyeball and everything in the wolf. And again, same thing. You paint the pink on the mouth. All right. Yeah, Nigel Stormcaller. I mean Ragnar Blackmane. So again, what happened, like I said, was that when I did for him the whole thing, this look, the whole red just spread everywhere and it spoiled the whole look. And I got so worried because I didn't want to apply too many layers to the model and all that I decided to not risk it, because actually I'm happy with the model as is. The Nigel Stormcaller one was icing on top, but if I did too much and spoiled the model, I'll feel like I said, I wouldn't never throw away this model, so I just didn't want to risk it. So I kept it to more grim look, no flush to the face or whatever. But again, I'm happy with the result, but I feel of course I can do better in the future. And of course the last one is a model I painted, which is actually a Mutant Chronicles model, and this one's painted for my twin brothers chapter, House of Batiatus chapter, and this is a Death Watch. As you can see, the metallic arm and the metallic shoulder pad here. This part is green because it's to my Inquisitor, which I have painted. So here's again the same techniques for that. but basically House of Batias' chapter is very much more, is from the Spartacus story, from the series actually, House of Batiatus, and so it's very much more grim. So I decided to keep the very dark shadows compared to like if you saw the models from Space Wolves, so-called, my brother says, some more cartoony feel to it, and like with the flesh and all, it's actually building up very thin layers of flesh plus white and adding a bit more and bit more till almost to white at the top. So it's like literally if I was painting. So it's like I remember this part I just kept doing this with the wash, and I let it dry, then before it almost dries, then after that you add white and then you pull it, and then literally it dries off like that. Then you fix it slowly, but you keep wanting to keep the shading, very strong shading. And for the brown here, because again with the green blue, I didn't want his hair to be bright yellow, so I decided to leave the brown sticking into the shading instead of like putting a huge yellow wash to wash away that. And of course for the Basubatia, this chapter, their armor is all black. I decided to give a very strong contrast with the pelt of white. And yep, that's House of Batiatus. Again, so those are the models. Lots of memories, and I hope you enjoyed. And I hope you learned something, because I love talking about all these models. Thank you very much. Till next word.